BBC News. Hello, I'm Jerry Smith. After 3 days of sectarian violence in the Indian capital Delhi, the Prime Minister Narendra Modi has appealed for calm. These were his first comments since clashes broke out on Sunday between protesters for and against a citizenship law, which critics say is anti-Muslim. The local authorities have been struggling to contain the violence. Pratiksha Guldial is in the Indian capital.
The Chief Minister of Delhi, Arvind Kejriwal, this morning said that he will be asking the central government to try and deploy the army. Now, that would be really extraordinary if that happens, because calling in the army means the highest level of civil disorder. And it remains to be seen whether the centre will do that. But for now, they say that hundreds of security forces, including paramilitary forces, remain in place to make sure that peace is maintained.
Numerous countries around the world are making contingency plans for a full-blown pandemic caused by the coronavirus outbreak, which has continued to spread outwards from where it started in central China. In the United States, the Centers for Disease Control warned of the potential for disruption to daily life. South Korea now has over 1,100 confirmed cases. Japan has recorded 160 cases in addition to the 700 infected while on board a cruise ship. The Prime Minister, Shinzo Abe, said public events should be curtailed to prevent the spread of the virus.
The next 1 to 2 weeks will be extremely important to stop the spread of this infection. There is a large risk of transmission at nationwide sports events and cultural events with large gatherings of people. Taking this into account, we will request to either cancel, postpone or scale down these events.
There have been further falls in Asian and European stock markets due to growing concerns about the global spread of the virus. Shares in travel companies and airlines have been particularly affected by the turbulence, as our economics correspondent Andrew Walker reports.
Airlines are among the first to feel the commercial consequences when official travel restrictions are imposed and when people choose to stay at home. Two big players in Europe, EasyJet and Ryanair, have seen their share prices fall 20% this week. Both are focused on travel within Europe, and so they're particularly susceptible to news suggesting a problem in the region, which came at the weekend with a surge in cases reported in Italy. Other airlines and travel-related stocks have seen percentage declines in double figures, though not as severe as EasyJet and Ryanair.
Residents of Hong Kong are to be given cash handouts of around $1,200 each by the government to help them deal with the economic downturn in the territory. The city's economy has been battered by months of anti-government protests and the impact of the coronavirus. News from the BBC. Ethiopia says it will not take part in what was expected to be the final round of talks with Egypt and Sudan about a giant dam it's building on the River Nile. Officials said they needed more time to consult with local partners. Egypt fears the $4 billion dam will deprive its population of water. Ethiopia's move will likely further fuel tensions between the three countries. A military funeral has been held in Cairo for the former President Hosni Mubarak, who died on Tuesday at the age of 91. Mubarak ruled for 30 years until he was deposed in an uprising in 2011. He'd been in ill health for many years. The BBC's Sally Nabil says that his legacy remains divisive within Egypt.
Since the early hours of the morning, we've seen dozens of Mubarak's supporters holding his pictures, calling him a hero. They say that he has managed to keep Egypt stable during his 30-year rule, although many young Egyptians who took part in the 2011 revolution that ousted Mr. Mubarak from power see him as a corrupt dictator who abused his power and violated basic human rights.
Germany's highest court has struck out a section of the criminal code that banned professionals from assisting suicide. The Federal Constitutional Court said terminally ill patients had a right to take their own lives and seek help in doing so. The 2015 law, which was backed by the Roman Catholic and Protestant churches, had sought to prevent organisations from offering suicide assistance as a service, but also applied to doctors. The security services in Russia have detained 2 teenage boys suspected of plotting to kill people at an educational institute in the city of Saratov, some 700 kilometres southeast of Moscow. The 2 were detained at an abandoned bomb shelter. Officers found a sawn-off shotgun there. BBC News.